Good afternoon, Rando fans. We've got game 2 of this exciting matchup between I Like Big Boots and Never Do Chickens. Relkin versus Wulfy, with I Like Big Boots taking that first game. I'm Dante, and I'm joined in the booth again by Edium. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Just watched a really exciting, very close race, and hopefully we see more of the same in this one.
Yeah, that one was quite had quite the ending. I do want to give a quick shout out. We've got Bandman tracking for us today. Going to be clicking all those buttons for us, showing us how many keys we've got, what items we've got. Things are going to be popping up really quick, given that this is spoiler log. So the way this works, if you're just joining us, the runners do not have the spoiler log. However, they have a co-pilot, as we call it, one of their teammates with that log, and they have to route them, basically manually going through that log and, you know, telling them where the items are and making them go.
So generally, the first, 20, 30 minutes is very stressful for the pilot because there's a lot of information and you have to parse it as quickly as possible. And then once you kind of got stuff planned out, then it's the pilot's turn to be stressed out because they have to go mode everything.
Yeah, this is looks like, and we're actually getting started here. So off we go to the Lynx house check, and there's a moon pearl. So that's something we're definitely gonna need.
Yep. So not a wasted thing there. Relkin starting towards Kakariko, immediately changing directions, going down to the dam. So his pilot, again, is going while telling him there's something important there. Wulfy heading straight to Kak, though.
Yeah, not heading up to Lost Woods, so most likely a bunch of garbage up there, but we are going to get this chest inside the dam. Those are boots, and that's a great find and a great item to have early on. The sooner you have those, the faster you get to run around, right?
Yeah, for sure. So that'll help Relkin get to Kakariko a little quicker, and if there's something on the library, he'll be able to get that right away as well. We do see a Bombos medallion, and we see on our tracker that Bombos is required for both Mire and Turtle Rock, both of which are crystals, so Bombos obviously needed. We're going into the well. We don't got any bombs, so hopefully there's nothing in the back. We got a Mire Small and a Desert Big. And a Save and Quit from Wulfy, so probably nothing else of value in Kakariko, except maybe the library.
All right, so Relkin here about to pick up his Bombos as Wulfy gets his Pearl. We'll see if there's anything in the back. Relkin actually bombing that open. May just be checking things in density, just so his pilot has a little bit of time to try to, go through all that data in the spoiler log.
3 bombs in the back of the blind set, so kind of worth a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'd say it's worth it. You get the $30 free as well, and that kind of helps out. But speaking of the well, Relkin's about to jump in there and get his keys. Wulfy actually going to drain the dam, so we're going to see if there's an item that Relkin may have passed up on out here.
Heart container, okay.
Yeah, and heart containers are kind of at a premium. Most times when you watch a rando seed, runners are anywhere between 12 to 18, maybe even 20 hearts. But, with spoiler log, you're not going to be getting a lot of heart pieces. So you gotta try to minimize how much out of the way checks you do. There's a mirror in Chicken Hut. So I guess Wulfy's never getting that. Is that how that works?
I think he had no bombs, so he just decided to come back later for it. Especially with those boots, you can bonk the rocks to get bombs if you need them. He's actually heading up into the Lost Woods, though. We're often going to buy bombs here by the lake. Oops. I think he was trying to set up a water walk there, but accidentally fell in. Gets an ether medallion, which is probably not useful, although you never know, it might come in handy in some rooms.
Hey, that's a super useful item to clear out some Stalfos in GT if you're having, you know, a bad day. But let's see, he's gonna try to set this water walk up again. Think he was on the right pixel that time.
So maybe going to Ice Rock Cave, or maybe going to some of the flipper checks here. So maybe something important like a flute or something. I can go into stash this out. We get $300 and an ice small. Okay, so going actually pretty far out of his way for those things. So I'm guessing money is going to be important. Or maybe just wanted that ice pal small really badly.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have that. There's $100 and a lamp inside of that waterfall fairy. Lamp's a very useful item here. Sometimes runners have to forego that just to, you know, do things quickly, but sometimes it's a required fire source. The fire rod could be locked behind it.
Yeah, when we do say Relkin heading into Mini Moldorm Cave. So, let's see what's in here. And Wulfy going to buy bombs as well.
All right, so 5 checks inside of Mini Moldorm. We'll see how many he opens. That's a heart piece. We saw a map. That's a GT small, so that's going to make Ganon's Tower kind of nice. And a glove and a flute. So we have all of our mobility items now. Going to be able to go to Kakariko and activate that and basically flute around the world as fast as we want to.
Yeah, usually you like to get the flute before you go to Kakariko, but in this case, we didn't really have access to bombs or anything. So kind of had to put that flute off a little bit.
Very nice Mini Moldorm Cave there from Wulfy.
Yeah, those last 2 Moldorms cooperating.
All right, so while Relkin is activating his flute, Wulfy choosing to save and quit, probably going to be hot on his tail here to go and activate that as well.
Okay, Relkin now is off to flute spot 4, and he's going up to the castle.
Now, we do have 5 bombs. I think that's going to be enough if we have to go into escape, but we could just have to get something off the uncle or the chest near him.
Okay, there's a Turtle Rock small key from Uncle. With Turtle Rock being a crystal, we do need at least 3 TR keys. And if we have to go into the lava chest, we will need 4. There's also a hammer there, and that's pretty important.
Hammer's kind of nice. You know, we finally have a weapon. It does tempered sword damage, which is nice. There's that mirror for Wulfy. But also, you know, now we've got that Dark World access over on Big Boot's side. And looks like I think that's where we are heading to now.
Yeah, this looks like a play to Hype Cave, probably, or maybe heading over to Stumpy or Pyramid Ledge, something like that.
And since we're not going to be seeing map checks from these guys, Edium did mention this a little bit. We do have crystals over on Turtle Rock Mire. The 5-6 crystals being Swamp and Ice, and Tower of Hera being our green pendant. So we could kind of maybe deduce, as we see the small key to Thieves and another TR small in Hype Cave, we can kind of deduce what these guys are going to need based off the keys they decide to pick up.
Yeah, interesting thing with Eastern and Pod both being pendants, it is possible we don't need the bow if these runners are comfortable with mimic clipping. But given that we have the spoiler log and there's 2 bows, we're probably going to find one of them at some point.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, for people who like mimic clip, this is a dream seed, you know. You don't see this very often.
Yeah, Wulfy now heading up the mountain, skipping Old Man, so obviously nothing of value there. You could get him for the save and quit point, but when you already have the flute, it's not really worth the time.
All right, so we do have a small key on top of Spec Rock. I'm pretty sure they're going to grab that. Hopefully they don't make a liar out of me, but both of these runners basically in the same spot at this point.
Okay, it's a Skullwood Small, which is not usually required, but it can come in handy in Skullwoods. And we're going straight to East Death Mountain. Nothing we need out of Hera just yet. And right into Paradox Cave.
And we do have 7 items in here. We'll see if we get all 7 or just a few. There is a big key to Thieves Town. A few extra bombs, and that's going to be good. These guys are going to be kind of tight managing their resources, so those can definitely come in handy.
Answer a question in chat. Ether was in the Lost Woods drop-down. It's not actually required. Wulfy actually picked it up by accident. He was trying to water walk over there and fell in.
All right, so a pod small, $50, and a bow. Ooh, okay.
All right, so no worries about them not clipping that. And also a sword in there.
Yeah, I missed Wulfy picking up that sword. I was focusing there with Relkin, down to just 1 heart for a minute. Did a nice job of staying calm and composed, but man, that was pretty tense there for a second.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty bad death to take. Without that hook shot, they would have had to run all the way up around the mountain again.
Yeah, definitely. And right now we've got a bit of divergence. I kind of like seeing this in spoiler log because this allows us, the viewer, to see, I guess, which route is the more ideal, potentially. Sometimes they're about equal, it's just a choice, but Relkin opting to go into Village of Outcasts here, and Wulfy is headed directly into Palace of Darkness, and I think he's $10 short, or 8 rather.
Yeah, okay, he's gonna mirror into Sash's hut. I can't remember if there was money in here or not. There might be some. Oh yeah, there was the 3.
There is.
That's right.
How quickly we forget. So here we go in Thieves. There's an ice rod. That's something we're going to need. Clearly there's something else here. Well, we do have the big key. We can go ahead and clear it, so that might actually be something Relkin's going to go ahead and do.
Oh, there's something else in here, in the front at least. Another pod key. So I wonder just how deep we have to go in pod. Wulfy, with only 1 small key, no big keys, is pretty limited in what he can actually do in here. But he's going for the front door, so we don't need to go to the back, I guess.
We could end up seeing another pod small show up in here. We do have access to the spoiler log, there is one. But I promise, Eddie and I both aren't looking at it because that kind of ruins the fun for us. If we just call out everything right before it happens, there's no fun in that.
Yeah, we like the surprise. I do like to look at the spoiler log like at the end of the race and just, maybe fill in people on what we skipped. But for most of the race, we're going to do it blind.
And so having that key, that is going to save a little bit of time here going to the back. Relkin timing that perfectly, bombing open the back. There's a Master Sword over in Palace of Darkness, so that's 2 of our 4 swords that we could possibly get today.
Ooh, that's a hook shot. Definitely required for Swamp. And if you can't hover, also for GT.
All right, so Relkin's going to continue heading on through Thieves Town. A couple of chests left for him to potentially check. Meanwhile, Wulfy heading back up the mountain. with hook in hand. I wonder if this is going to be a Tower of Hera play.
Yeah. There is another pot key in the back of Thieves. Relkin does have that Thieves small. Is he going to the big chest? Yes, he is. And okay, that's just a heart container, so nothing crucial there, but quick little safety to grab, especially when you have only 3 hearts.
Yeah, Wulfy opting to get that one that Relkin skipped at the dam. Meanwhile, Wulfy doing a fantastic job there with Herapot. The way I teach people that is just say run your face with the spin speed into the pot over and over until it works, and that's what seemed to work. So simultaneous boss fights between these two runners, but with different bosses. Relkin slightly off script there, but probably going to be able to recover from it. Meanwhile, Wulfy has taken down Moldorm rather quickly too, getting rewarded with the Titan's mitts and that green pendant. We'll see if that green pendant's actually required or not, but Relkin putting the first crystal up on the board.
And Wulfy now headed over to East Death Mountain, so he'll be able to do Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave. And just a compass on Floating Island, so not going to be seeing that. Relkin doing Dig Game now.
Curious how many digs it's going to be today. This is a random number between 1 and 30. The way it's set up, it's seated between the runners, so, you know, obviously it's going to always be the same. No divergence there.
Yeah, the spoiler log actually tells you how many digs is required. And it is the Cane of Samara, so certainly a required item. Wulfy opening Thieves Town, but obviously without that cane, not going to be going into Turtle Rock at this point.
All right, so heading into Hookshot Cave, I'm assuming there's going to be some goodies here. And it looks like Relkin's headed back into the Village of Outcasts area. May have forgot something, but hey, there's flippers inside a Hookshot Cave. Gonna need those for that Swamp Palace play today. You were talking about bows earlier. There's the second one already on silvers.
Yeah.
So both bows in fairly convenient spots, I'd say.
Yep. Relkin headed to the left side of Skullwood, so this is where that small key comes in handy. Hey, Fire Rod.
All right, well, we could see Relkin go. I guess he's not going to. I was going to say we could see Relkin do a 4-heart Fighter Sword Maul. Going to be required, but opting to not. I'm wondering if Relkin and GGW are trying to maybe route in a way to single dip Turtle Rock, or maybe minimize their mountain trips.
Yeah, on the other side, we do see Wulfy going into Mire. Not going to be completing it because we know Cane of Samara is not here. And we also don't have the big key. So probably looking at a Mire double dip, I'm guessing. Relkin, meanwhile, now heading into Pod. He's got 3 small keys. So he might be able to get something more if there is more to get in here. Alright, Wulfy flipping that switch. We are going to the left side here. Okay, Tempered Sword, that's worth.
Yeah, definitely a nice thing to have. That's going to make a lot of boss fights and Ganon much easier than Master Sword.
Oh, there's our Marbig. Okay, well, that seems like a mistake on Wulfy's part, because he doesn't have the cane. Unless, they picked it up while we weren't looking.
I don't think that they did, and I unfortunately for them, I think they're going to figure it out here at some point.
Yeah, Wulfy also sitting on no arrows, which is kind of annoying when you're trying to fight Vitreous. I don't know if there's any arrows in the back here.
I don't believe that there are. I think they're all in the front. All right, so Relkin got his sword and his hook. But
there's a heart container, and yeah, Wulfy's mirroring out. He realizes his mistake. So not a required double dip of Meyer. So they're going to lose a little bit of time, but Meyer's not the most costly double dip in the world. Oh, Relkin losing some time here talking to the bubble boy.
So this guy has like 53 text boxes. It feels like it's really bad when you accidentally run into him. It just feels like it's an eternity. All right, so here's the back of Desert for Wulfy. You're gonna just beeline the boss, and Relkin's picking up Harapot now. All right, so I guess depending on how quick Relkin does this, we might get simultaneous boss fights again, but Relkin jumping into Moldorm. Got that hammer out, gonna be trying to make quick work of Moldorm. Meanwhile, Wulfy dropping in to visit Landmo, has silvers, and gonna get the one cycle. Nicely done by both of these guys.
And GT Small and Lamo, not immediately useful, but might come in handy later.
Relkin utilizing a little bit of game knowledge there, foregoing the cutscene there for grabbing that green pendant. Apparently it is trash and we don't need to turn it in. But just dropping down, and that way you can mirror out of there.
Ooh, and Relkin getting dead rocked here. Gonna just dash over to reset the screen. Wulfy, meanwhile, heading down to the south portal, maybe going to... No, not Swampy, doesn't have the small key. Oh, he's going back to dig game for that cane.
All right, so Relkin's opening up TR. He does have Ice Rod, he does have Fire Rod and Cane. Unlike Wulfy the first time Wulfy was here. The question is, are the remaining keys, because we still need a big key, and we need at least one small, are they inside Turtle Rock where Relkin could do this now? I guess not, since he's running away.
Yeah, so Wulfy will be able to go back to Meyer later. There wasn't anything on Biddy, right? Oh, we haven't seen Biddy yet. Never mind.
We haven't seen Biddy, so we don't really know.
Yeah, he's still, again, on 2 arrows, so probably going to want to find more arrows before he goes back to Meyer, if he can.
And is this going to be a Smith play? Or is this just getting into... This is just getting into the Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, I guess going to go do Thieves. Oh, something is in Rumble Hut, apparently.
All right, and this is something Relkin skipped. We'll see if it's required. That's a big key to ice. Unsure if we're going to need that or not. Always nice to have, though, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, it could be an optional item in the ice big. Because Relkin is going to ice without that big key, so...
Yeah, speaking of, like, here we go. We're about to... This is maybe make or break for I Like Big Boots. Especially if something's in that big chest.
Yeah. And Wulfy making his way back through Thieves Town now. Anything in the first chest of ice? No, there is not. So straight to the icebreaker room now.
You know, watching these spoiler races, it's really fun to just watch them go mode all these dungeons and then just kind of detour and get random chests along the way instead of every single one.
Yeah. This mode definitely tests your game knowledge, knowing all the key drops, all the key doors, knowing where you can get arrows and bombs everywhere. All this stuff becomes super important in spoiler log races, because it is really hard to keep track of all that stuff.
Well, there's a heart piece in the vanilla big key chest of Ice Palace, and that's going to actually fill up a container for Relkin, so up to 5 hearts. Both of them actually add 5 hearts at this stage.
Yeah, Wulfy also grabbing 10 arrows from the attic there. Certainly worth if you are planning to go to Mire next. And Wulfy, not having that Thief Small, he'll have to skip the heart container in the big chest. Not a huge deal. Ooh, there's our Swamp Small. Nice.
Well, that's going to open up Swamp Palace for us. We do not have the big key. However, we do not need that big key to beat the dungeon. Only if there's something in that chest will we actually need it. All right, so Relkin's a little short on magic here, but has Bombos, and he has it out and at the ready, so we'll see how he does here with Cold Stare. Man, these guys are so good at doing these simultaneous boss fights.
Yeah, we have seen a few of them so far.
So Relkin in phase 2 of Cold Stare. Gonna be a little tight here. Actually finishing it up rather nicely. And speaking of finishing, Wulfy finishing up phase 1 and phase 2 of Blind. So there's that crystal grab over on Relkin's side. Meanwhile, we're in phase 3. Just need 3 more hits. Getting baffled around a little bit, but you know, that's all right. Wulfy sealing the deal there. Getting another crystal on the board for Never Do Chickens.
Yeah, so what else are we looking for at this point? We need the GT big key, we need the Turtle Rock big key, but I think that's it. I think we've seen everything else we need.
Now we're going to need another TR small somewhere.
That is true, yes. Relkin taking a minute to get the lamp here, which Wulfy picked up earlier on.
All right, so this is the play over to the Mire area for Big Boots.
Yep, Wulfy now grabbing that fire rod.
Man, it's so nice in Spoiler Log when you just have a seed that you have to do Vitreous, yet you get Tempered Sword and Silver Arrows. Like, you know, it doesn't get any easier than that, I feel like. You know, that's
Yeah.
ideal what you want in a normal rando seed. The only bad side of this is, you know, 5 or 6 hearts, so just don't get hit, right?
Yeah. Relkin with a nice Mire 2 there.
Very nice key dash there from Wulfy. That Fire Snake actually cooperating for him.
There's that almost vanilla big key for Relkin. And he is going to grab his tempered here as well.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to leave this behind by any stretch. Very solid fight there, Wulfy. Taking down the Moth. Getting some bombs, but more importantly, getting another crystal. So we'll see where Never Do Chickens decide to go next. All right, so this looks to be the Ice Palace play from Wulfy.
Yeah, so that'll get him that Swamp Smoky.
Yeah, a couple of essential items, or mainly that one. But, relkin trying to do the spooky action at a distance and doing it. Took a couple of tries, but managed to get it done.
Alright, so Viddy fight should be pretty straightforward with arrows. Do have to be mindful not to take more than one hit here. No problem for Relkin though.
Yeah, that is why the vanilla game gives us those arrows so late. Just because Vitreous is not even tough. So that's another crystal for Big Boots. So I guess, where are we going to find that GT Big and the TR Big? Those are those outlying things that we need.
Yeah. We do need, again, we need at least one more Turok Small, but with two of them left, I'm sure one of them is on the way somewhere. Relkin also running into desert. I forget what was in here.
I don't think Wulfy actually came inside here.
Oh, there's a big key on the torch.
I think he just went straight to the back.
That is the GT Big, so yeah, Wulfy is going to have to come back for that. He can just route it in when he does Myers, though. So that is our GT situation resolved. So we just need Turok Big and Turok Small.
Yeah, we're getting to the point in the seed where the pressure shifts from that pilot to the runner specifically, because it's going to be all execution down the stretch here. And both of these guys showing that they've got what it takes to do some of these low percent strats. Very nice cold stare fight there from Wulfy.
Yep. So Never Do Chickens on 4 crystals now. And I like Big Boots just about to get the 4th crystal. Wait, didn't Relkin? I think Relkin did Mothula, right? No, never mind. He skipped out on it. That's right. Yeah, so he still has to go back for that.
Yeah, and that was probably a heads-up play. I don't know if his pilot called it. I'm assuming his pilot was able to see that, he was going to be able to have some better equipment to come back with. But, having that fire rod helped him out a little bit. So we'll see where he heads to now. Meanwhile, Wulfy's heading into Swamp Palace, I think. Gonna take a little small detour over to Hype Cave.
And Relkin also converging onto Swamp Palace now. Okay, just that Turtle Rock key we needed from Hype Cave.
So there's quite a few checks here in Swamp Palace. We could potentially find that GT. Oh no, we've already got the GT big. We could find that TR big or the TR smalls in here. So it may just be on the path for them.
All right, skipping the first 2 chests.
All right, so Wulfy actually bombing open the wall and opening this up, getting the big key to Turtle Rock. That's something that we need. Hopefully, man, that's going to be a little bit of a time sink there. Hopefully they don't leave that behind.
Yeah. I mean, they'll just be able to come back in and get it after Argus, but that could be a case, because that's the map chest. That could be a case where they just mixed up map and compass chests. Actually, Relkin's running back now. I thought it would be faster just to get it after Argus, but whatever.
Yeah, that's one of those strats that, I'll be honest, I've never really timed having to run it back and see what's faster, but yeah, it does pick it up. So we just need a TR small, and then I guess we're all set.
Yeah, and how often do you have a key sandy seed where there's at least one TR small just in TR?
Feels like that happens more often than not.
Yeah.
Very nice diver down there by Wulfy. And throwing the 2 chests there in the flooded room.
Heart container in the waterfall chest, that's definitely worth grabbing.
Yeah, it's always nice when safeties are super convenient like that. Just, you know, grab it and go.
Alright, both runners now making their way to Argus. Tempered Sword and Silver Arrows should make this a pretty quick fight. Wulfy can get the 1 cycle. Yep, just barely got the 1 cycle.
Very nice.
We got a shovel on Argus.
All right, Relkin also getting that 1 cycle and delivering that silver arrow into Argus, making that super fast. We'll get his shovel. We'll get his crystal as well. All right, so I guess it's either we play Clean Up Misery Mire or we see where Wulfy heads to next. It looks like it's the Mire area. So, I mean, I guess you could say the bet of Turtle Rock having a small key inside of it. It's probably the case.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen everything else on the mountain. So probably just in here. Relkin. Oh, picking up that heart container that he skipped earlier at the dam. So yeah, Relkin having to do Schoolwoods, Wulfy having to do Mire. I think Mire's a little bit longer, but it's pretty close to this point.
Yeah, we'll have a really good idea of who's in the lead. I want to say, like you were saying, Relkin's probably got a little bit of an advantage at the moment, but nothing insurmountable by any stretch, especially with the loadout we've got.
Wulfy does also have to dip back into desert for that GT big, so that's a little bit of time as well.
You know, it could be almost pure even. Wulfy having a little bit of trouble there with that block when these guys come out of their respective dungeons.
Yeah. Gonna be very close. Wulfy this time armed with plenty of arrows.
Ooh, relkin almost getting grabbed by that Wallmaster, but does manage to avoid it. Meanwhile, Wulfy utilizing that spooky action in that third area. Gonna save a little bit of time. So here we go, another synced up boss fight. I think this is like the fourth one at this point, but relkin's already done with the Moth. Absolutely insane. Silver Arrow's making quick work of Vitreous as well. So relkin's in a crystal cutscene, and Wulfy's waiting for it to drop. I guess this is the difference right here. Whenever they flute to, if they flute to the same spot, that is going to be what the lead is at this point.
Yeah, well, minus that, again, that desert dip for Wulfy.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he has to do that.
But yeah, you can just mirror here, run to the torch. It can take like 20, 30 seconds. So relkin is going to be like half a mountain climb ahead of Wulfy, basically.
All right, so Edium, where's this TR small key going to be in TR?
Well, I'm assuming it's not lava chest. I'm going to go with laser bridge.
I'm gonna be a little mean to these guys. I'm gonna assume it's probably gonna be over on that right side where you got to do the fire torch puzzle.
Yeah.
Because that, I mean, granted, it doesn't really save you or lose you any time if you have to do it, but you know, it always kind of sucks when you have to do it because it feels so slow.
Mimic Cave or Big Chest would also be a little annoying. Relkin now in TR. Wulfy, I'm pretty sure, already opened TR, so he just has to go through the portal.
Making use of those bonk rocks to get that fairy. Gonna go into this with full health.
Yeah, laser beams are a little bit useful in the front of TR. Relkin's skipping everything in the front, so that last key is going to be a bit deeper.
All right, so I was off base. Some of you guys' hopes and dreams of where this key is going to be are still alive.
Relkin heading over to steal this pokey key. Having to dance around the bunny beam here. Good heads up thinking there, hitting that switch to block the bunny beam.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal play there. It's always fun watching these guys having to run around and, you know, avoid those things. Wow, getting some crazy geometry there from the pokey bouncing around. Luckily, didn't take a hit.
Yeah, and we are skipping Big Chest and Mammoth Cave. So we're looking at Crystal Roller or Laser Bridge for that final key.
All right, I finally get to see what the bunny sprite bunny looks like. It's just another bunny.
Wulfy having a little trouble with the pokies here.
Yeah, sometimes these things just don't play nice, and
yeah,
rough day.
That was a bit of a time loss for Wulfy, unfortunately, but again, it's still very close. There it is. Full STR small key.
Now the last one we need. So we are officially in go mode at that point. And it's all execution from here. We've even got a couple of GT smalls. So everything is going to be just, you know, running through that tower. Relkin showing us what the bottom of TR looks like there.
Yeah, neither player has a bottle. We have no cape or cane of burna. We don't even have powder, so not a lot of safeties available unless there's something on the way in GT. Both runners also on green mail still.
All right, so Wulfy getting his final key he needs for Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, phase 2 of Trinex is blowing up for Relkin, so that is going to be crystal number 7 for Big Boots. And then they're going to be heading into the big tower. All right, so Relkin's going to be running over to GT. Meanwhile, Wulfy, backdoor strats on Trinex. Gets that first head down. Unfortunately, doesn't switch over to the fire rod, and now we made a mess on the floor.
Yeah, that makes things annoying, but I mean, Wulfy will be fine. Just this minor time loss here.
Yeah, not that big of a deal. And that's phase 1. Just gotta wait for phase 2. And
very nice phase 2 there.
Yeah, fantastic job.
Relkin actually going to Hope Room here, so probably some sort of safety, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, what's here?
Okay, blue potion. Oh, and half magic. Wow, okay.
You couldn't ask for a better Hope Room, you know, in this type of loadout. That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I wonder if Wulfy will get those, or if he's just going to YOLO this, knowing he's behind.
Yeah, if he knows he's behind, you know, the runners are allowed to watch the restream or their opponent's stream this week during the spoiler log. But, you know, that can kind of be a curse. It can give you a little extra anxiety. But, you know, it also can help you make some informed decisions. Relkin may be knowing, hey, I can take that extra time to go get those safeties and play things safe, you know, climbing Ganon's tower. Wulfy, potentially knowing he's behind, may opt to skip it like Edium was saying, just to try to salvage a little bit of time. We'll wait and see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, having silvers for Lamo 2 and for Ganon means that the half magic is not that useful. And yeah, he's just going straight upstairs. So this is going to be a very rough GT climb for Wulfy. 6 hearts, green mail.
Yeah, very nicely done there in that spike room by Wulfy to, you know, basically utilize some iframes and take minimal damage. All right, so Relkin through the gauntlet now, heading into Lanmo 2. All right, so Relkin gets that one cycle, picking up magic, even though he's at full magic, and he's gonna climb on up into Wizrobes 1. Wulfy entering the gauntlet now.
Wulfy having a little trouble in that first room. Down to 2 hearts now. He has to be very, very careful. Down to 1 heart. This is very tense.
Ooh. Holy
through
cow.
that room.
No! The ice room doesn't always play kind.
Yeah, that was very tough for Wulfy. He's still not going for those safeties. I mean, at this point, relkin's so far ahead now. Unless something absolutely insane happens, that relkin should have this race. But you can't blame Wulfy. I gotta give him respect for going for that, knowing how far behind he is, and that relkin has those safeties. He has absolutely no time to spare. He just had to go for it there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Agatu not playing too kind with Relkin. Getting some blue balls that are knocking him out of sequence there to not be able, to get the nice, easy doubles. Getting a lot of singles, though.
Wulfy down to 1 heart again.
That's fine. He's got this.
Okay, pulling out the bombos here. But again, he needs relkin to take probably 2 or 3 deaths to Ganon here to have any hope.
All right, super close there. All right, so Relkin dropping in on Ganon, and Wulfy taking on land mode 2, gets a nice 1 cycle. Relkin setting up to try to get the 1-in-1. We are into phase 2, and looks like he is going to be able to secure this 1-in-1. So 1 cycle per phase, 1 and 2.
Drinking that blue potion just to be absolutely safe. Fire bats, they do 4 hearts, right, on green mail? Or is it 3?
They do something like that. It's not a small amount, but it's also not ludicrous either.
Yeah. Alright, Relkin already on to phase 3. Misses the torch glitch, but who really cares when you have silvers? There it is. There's the final arrow for Relkin.
And with the sword in the air, that bridge is going to extend for Relkin. So get your GGs in chat for Relkin, and I like big boots.
And Relkin finishes in first place with an official race time .gg time of 51 minutes and 55 seconds. Very, very fast seed. And this was a really close race until, Wulfy took that death in GT. But again, with Wulfy being a little behind, absolutely can't blame him for going for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if they choose to come in for an interview, like, we can talk about it some more. I know, if I'm in Wulfy's situation there, I do that exact same play, and if I lose from it, I lose from it. If I don't, I don't. So, mad respect for just kind of going for it. You got to go for broke in that case.
Yeah. So it looks like Wulfy is gonna go through Aga 2 here.
All right, while Wulfy is taking on Agatu, we are joined in chat by the pilot of Relkin. Ganon's going wild. GG.
Yeah, GG. That was pretty free seed. Definitely easier than some of the practice ones I did.
Yeah, everything was kind of in a neat package for you guys. Being able. Oh no!
Ooh, Wulfy dying on Aga 2 there.
That is brutal.
Yeah, that's going to do it. He's going to throw in the towel at this point. Yeah, don't blame him there. But GG's to both of these runners on a very exciting, very close until the last few minutes race. So Relkin there in the waiting room, so we'll just wait for him to come in. And not sure if we're going to be joined by Wulfy and Allison. There's Relkin as well. GG's.
Thank you, GG.
Yeah, very, very tough seed on, especially in terms of safeties. You didn't even get your first bottle until GT.
Yeah, I had GGW tell me when if I had enough time to go get it, if we were ahead enough, so I decided to go get the half magic in bottle.
Yeah, and as we were just talking about, Wulfy, deciding to skip those because he knew at this point he didn't have any second to spare. But yeah, I mean, this seed was just really tough all around, and no deaths at all until GT. Green mail, 6 hearts. We had no invulnerability items, no powder, no bottles for most of the seed. But you guys did really well.
Yeah, we put off Mothula just to avoid having to do like super low percent Mothula, and then came back later.
Yeah, in practice, we had done a practice run where I died to Moth, but I got a perfect fight second time. So I was like, I'm not gonna risk dying to Moth this time.
Yeah, probably for the best, I think. Overall, I mean, this was a mostly straightforward seed, I guess. Didn't seem like there were a lot of required double dips.
Just like the mountain, basically.
Yeah.
We were trying to think if we could have avoided going up the mountain to get the Thieves Big,
Yeah.
but I think we had to go into Thieves for that the pod smalls. But I could be wrong. No, it was too quick to tell, but I think the safer play was the mountain before pod and Thieves.
I think theoretically we could have like mimic clipped and then used one of the pod smalls we got somewhere else to do that. Maybe, I don't know.
Hey, GG's guys.
GG.
Hey, there is Allison, the pilot for Wulfy. Yeah.
Invite or not.
Sorry?
I don't know if Wulfy needs an invite or not, or if he wants to come over. I forgot to check with him, but
Okay, we'll work on that. Okay,
It's on its way.
for about the last 15 minutes, that I'm just like, all right, are they going to go for Hope Room? Or are they not going to go for Hope Room? Just watching the entire thing for that.
Yeah, and we're now joined by Wulfy. GG's.
Hey, GG.
GG, man.
Very, very tough seed in terms of safeties, and tough death in GT, but we definitely understand why you skipped that stuff in Hope Room.
Yeah, that was a lower equipment run than I think anything we did in practice.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I got really trash RNG in the gauntlet. So
Yeah. Yeah, but green mail, 6 hearts for
Oh,
pretty
it
much
was
the
just-
whole seed.
We knew we had to cut time wherever we could there, and
Yeah.
so we just had to hope that we could make it through that gauntlet there, and with better RNG we probably could have, or better execution, but I mean, I gave Wulfy a really, really hard task there, and I don't have any issues with him taking that death. That's a rough spot to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. So probably, in a very close race, you can point to any number of things, but one kind of big factor was forgetting to grab the cane before Meyer.
Yep.
That cost you guys a bunch of time.
I think we would have been about a minute and a half ahead, leaving 7 crystals if we had gotten that cane the first time. Because then we would have had Tempered Sword there earlier, so we would have had that in a decent spot, and then we would have been able to pick up the Arrow Pots and Desert Palace on the way to get the big key for GT, and then just kill Vitreous and kill Linmo, and it would have been all we had to touch for that area.
Yeah.
Big oops on my part. He got to the bridge and said, "Oh, I don't have the cane somewhere." I'm like, "What?" And then I did a spit take.
Where was the cane again?
This is
Digging
big
game.
Ah, right. I remember we also forgot about that because we could have done that after Hype Cave. That would have been probably the best chance for us to do it. I just decided right then and there I'll just go after Thieves to go get it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was saying with the so you also didn't get the mitts as early as we did because we basically we rushed Death Mountain, then rushed Pod, then rushed Death Mountain right back again. Which I think was probably the easiest way to play it. I don't know if there was a better way to do a single dip on Death Mountain instead, but it just we kind of wanted and needed that. I would say just wanted and needed that stuff, and just I needed Wulfy to have something to do while I planned out what we needed to do next because it was this was a real fast seed. It was one of those, we're like 4 items from go mode. Where are these? Oh, they're literally on the path. Okay.
Yeah, so we were considering the Mimic Clip option in Pod if that would have helped us at all, and I honestly am not sure because there was a pod key in Paradox, there was a pod key in Blind Cell. Where was the other pod key that we got?
Like map chest in Thieves Town, I think.
Okay, also in Thieves. Okay, so you had to get at least one pod key to be able to go get the stuff out of the back of Pod.
There's another pod key in Pod in Stoffels basement.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I think ideally that's probably what we would have done is have made that pod play right away for the pod small key that we had from
and the hook shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say. I think the problem was I couldn't. Was there an easy pod key to get somewhere before that? I don't think there was. Like, I feel like
Paradox.
Desert Big Key is well. Where's the Desert Palace small key? It was somewhere dumb.
You'd have to be able to get into Desert somehow.
Oh yeah, you needed the book, which we didn't have. It was on Laser Bridge. Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, I mean, really, it was like I really want to have a Palace of Darkness small key so that we can skip out on this plan. I guess we could have gotten it just from Thieves Town, but it would have meant not having all that stuff on the way to Thieves Town. It just felt better to me to be able to do that all in the same go. But otherwise, you're going to have to go to Death Mountain, get that small key, get the bow, get the sword. Like, you didn't need the bow for anything, but you needed the small... Oh, did you guys go up the right side of Pod?
No.
Okay. Where did you... Oh, right. You went to... Did you go to Thieves Town before Pod? Yeah, you did. Okay. That's where you got your pod keys from. That makes sense.
We went to Paradox first, and then to Thieves Town, and then to Pod.
That makes sense. I would say we went to Paradox, and then just grabbed the Stoffos basement key and mirrored back up, and used that to grab our hookshot. But yeah, these were 2 real close races today.
Yeah, for sure. Very exciting to watch. So I've just been going through the spoiler log a bit. Most of the safeties were terrible. There was armor in back of Escape. Did you guys ever consider going for that, or was that simply too far out of the way?
I thought about it and just like it was one of those things where like if I had looked at the seed and like they had taken a death on Cold Stare or something like that, I would have routed that in just for the extra safety. Because I was like keeping an eye on where they were to see just how much safety I could give Wulfy. But without that, there was no way I was gonna take that trip.
Yeah. For us, it was after Desert. We could have gone to get the blue cane out of Myers Shed.
I thought about that one too.
Yeah, but then GDW said there were hearts in the Sunken Treasure as well as the Waterfall Room and Swamp. So I was like, okay, never mind. I don't need those at all. So
yeah,
that was
tell Relkin about the armor in the back, but he declined.
I thought about it, but then you told me about those other hearts. I was like, okay, never mind. Good.
Yeah, I also told you they were like super close. So
yeah. You can pretty easily get to 6 or 7 hearts in this seed, but getting past that is pretty tough.
Did you? Okay, so I got a heart off of a bunch of heart pieces. Did you get heart off of heart pieces?
We didn't get a heart off heart pieces.
Okay.
That explains where you got the 7th heart from. I was actually wondering.
Yeah, there was a piece of heart in the ice big key chest. There's one off Cold Stare. And there's a couple others randomly scattered.
I saw those 2, and I'm like, we don't have any pieces of heart right now. Like, should I see if I could route in 2 more? But I felt like, you know what? We're gonna have half magic for the climb. We're gonna have potion for the climb. Oops. And we'll probably be fine. And yeah, not so much. But I mean, I don't really have any regrets about that seed other than the cane thing.
Yeah, you guys made it close. I was really scared about these races because I know you guys are really good. this week was one of the top 3 hardest weeks I think for us. So
I think our division's just a murder division.
yeah, that's also true.
Honestly,
Because I think this is a hard week. I think there's a terrifying week for us too. Like it's like, oh, here you get to go play Zero Rush, who gets to listen to other people tell him what to do. Yay!
honestly, all the divisions in the league are extremely tough, with there being only 32 teams instead of 64.
They are.
Team
But
cap
I
is
do
pretty
think our
free.
division probably is the toughest one. And I think that's a pretty common sentiment in the teams in our division, at least.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. So I'm gonna hop off here because I need to go get some food. But thank you for the restream commentary tracking. GG's to Wulfy and Alazun, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, GG's to all of you. I guess we might as well start to wrap things up. Runners or pilots, did any of you have any other thoughts you wanted to say?
This time was probably like 8 minutes faster than our next fastest time, so the speed is pretty hilariously
Yeah,
fast.
if we had played it safe, we would have been about 6 or 7 minutes faster than our previous fastest time, I think.
Yeah, having boots and fluid just right away in Sphere 1 was definitely nice.
I was saying, you needed to dip 2 pendant dungeons, but they were so free.
Yeah.
Like, they were so fast to dip. I don't know. I'm going to be sad at myself because I made a pretty big mistake in both seeds. But, that's what goes. Like, that's the pressure of the mode. You have a very to do some of this stuff.
It's very, very difficult not to make big mistakes. I know that. But, GG's to all of you. Do want to give a shout out to our tracker, Bandman, doing a great job in his very hectic seed, very hectic format, especially with having to keep track of all the keys as well. He did a really great job today. And of course, my co-com and teammate Dante. Always a pleasure to com with you.
Yeah, this was tons of fun. You guys talking out the interview made my job real easy. So, but yeah, always appreciate that. Good luck to you guys going forward. This win is going to actually put I Like Big Boots tied for second in the division. And let's see, Never Do Chickens. You're currently at 4-4. Not out of it by any stretch.
Nope.
There's a lot of things that can go crazy. I don't think anything's free until you're like actually locked in with this invitational division or invitational league. So going to be fighting for every single one of those points. So good luck to you guys going forward as well.
So I think conceivably 6 or 7 teams in our division could easily make playoffs. And so it'll be a wild last few weeks.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on Speed Gaming. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. There's a lot of ALTTPR action coming up later on this channel and other Speed Gaming channels. And for Edium, I'll say good night and thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone.